Unfortunately, Bitcoin has lost its major support level at 110K. Will things be getting worse? Let's find out. Welcome back to Flex Candle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. I'm Flex, and today we're diving into a full top-down analysis on Bitcoin. We're going to start from the higher time frames, work our way down to the lower time frames, and check to see if we find any good setups. Now remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just reading the charts. All right, guys, it's about 5:45 p.m. Eastern time. The price of Bitcoin is currently at 108,230. Today we went as low as 107,427. Things are not looking good. Last week we closed this big red engulfing candle. We had tweezer tops. We wicked off this 50 moving average, which is currently at 101,772. And I told you guys, usually when there's a long wick like this, we come back to retest that wick. We either try to eat up the whole wick or most of it. And as you can see, so far we've come down to test half of this wick. We still have 3 days and 3 hours before this candle closes. We are already losing the 21 moving average at 112,589. I would say we would have to get above 113K to just relatively stay neutral to bullish. Right now, things are looking very bearish. You guys already know that to me, if we lose this 50 moving average on the weekly chart with 1 or 2 candles closed underneath that, to me, that's the beginning of the bear market. Now, let's head over to the other time frames. On the 3-day chart, we still see we have a lot more room to continue going down on the stochastic RSI. We lost the 21, we lost the 50 moving average. On the 2-day chart, we still have room before this starts to reset here as well. We're being held up by only the 100 moving average. The next line of defense is going to be the 200 moving average. That's at 96,893. Now on the daily chart, this is where I had the cup and handle play. We were tracing it perfectly until we had that Bitcoin crash. And so far right now, if we close like this, I believe we're going to be closing under this bowl. So this will negate my cup and handle play. Let's see how we end up closing today. Maybe we could reverse back up, but if not, then this play is over. And instead, what I'm actually seeing is a head and shoulder pattern here. We went over this before, where this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and technically this could be the right head right here. We could even come back up, not get above this 126K and make another right shoulder here, and then that could be the right shoulder. But it could play out just like this, and the measured move to this, like we went over it before, would at least take us to about 93K or so. But there's also another measure move that's steeper down that could take us even to like about 86K. So at this point, I have to put this as a possibility because the probability is more in the favor that this might end up happening. This was now showing me 91K, so it's around there, basically in the 90s. Who really matters once we break 100K? Now, ever since we had this Adam and Eve top, I've been saying the measure move to that would take us to the 200 moving average. We've been wiggling around here trying to survive. We even got above this Adam and Eve, but no matter what, we still ended up coming down to touch this 200 moving average at 107,377. We still do have 2 hours and 15 minutes before this candle closes. Maybe we could close back up, but like I was telling you before, this long wick, ever since I seen that, I knew that we would come back to eat some of that wick, and currently we're doing that. Unfortunately, this is our last line of defense, this 200 moving average on the daily. If we lose this 200 moving average, I just believe we're going to get more bearish here. The RSI is pointing down. The stochastics RSI have reset, and we're still rolling over here. We could stay here for a while. We could definitely lose this 200 moving average even by today. On the other time frames, you can see the 22-hour chart has been rejected by the 200 moving average, and we're rolling over. So this is just showing that we're probably going to have a lot more pain. Best case scenario, we're going to go sideways, but it definitely looks like we're going to be going to lower levels here. We head over to the 4-hour chart. We could see we never made it back up here. We rolled over. This is getting below the dotted line now here on the bottom, which means we could drag here for a while as well. This is kind of looking to me also kind of like a head and shoulder pattern as well, and it would make sense so that we could continue eating this wick here. So if this is a shoulder, this is a head, and we just made the right shoulder now, the measured move to this will probably take us to the rest of this wick. Let's see what that would be. It's taking us to about 101K, and that would be basically where this wick took us. So this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting us to possibly continue coming down. Like I said, best case scenario right now, since we lost 110K, would would be to just go sideways. Now, the only thing that could save us against, like I'm saying, would be the daily chart. If somehow we could not close below 110K, come back up, and we do close above 110K, then we'll be saved for today. But I don't know about tomorrow or the day after. It looks very, very dim right now for Bitcoin. The 1 hour chart wants to roll over as well. This is turning into some type of a bear flag. And on the 15-minute chart, we just have never been able to get above this 200 moving average. Look how long we've been below this 200 moving average since we lost it. Since we lost it here at 113,800, we gone all the way down. We double bottom. We came back up, rejected, came back down, tried to touch again, reject, and now we're all the way down here again. We're topping on the stochastics RSI, as you can see. We're trying to get above the 21 moving average. So we just really have to focus on this 15-minute chart. If we cannot get above the 200 moving average on the 15-minute chart, we forget about that happening on the higher time frame. So guys, now that we lost 110K, we're playing at a new level between 100K and 110K. Officially, to me, we haven't lost it yet, because yesterday on the daily chart, we ended up closing at 110,763. So it's important to check back at 8 p.m. Eastern time to see where we close this candle. But if we do close below 110, then we're in the new range between 100K and 110K. So it looks like we might have more bearish movement on the way down. All right, guys, so that's the breakdown. If this gave you clarity or a setup to watch, do me a favor, like, drop a comment, subscribe. And if you have a stock or crypto you want me to go over, drop it in the comment section. This is Flex Candle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. Catch you on the next chart.